All right, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today has been a crazy interesting today, but there are some updates for the federal tax credit, the 7,500 federal tax credit for all EVs. But I know we're only caring about Model 3 and Model Y here. So we'll talk about, and I'm going to give you the three things that you need to know, that you need to be aware about if you are taking delivery of one, or if you've got an estimated delivery date pushed in the near future, so we can figure out what the heck is going on. But before we get into any of that, let's roll that intro real quick. All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, where you can get the access to my best buying guide to get the best financing rates to buy your Tesla. And thank you to my latest Patreon members. We got Prajeeth, Hugo, Jason, Jamal, Ouch Colonel, Rajdeep, and Kuwait. Thank you for joining. Thank you for supporting. If you want to support and get the best buying guide with the best credit union rates and financing rates, definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description. All right, so let us take a look at this. If you're not aware of what the heck is going on, the IRS and Treasury were due to announce to make some sort of announcement on the updated federal tax credit, the 7,500 federal tax credit, and they kind of just delayed it today. They talked about it, I guess, a little bit. They released some information, but it looks like we're going to get extended. So right now it says on the Model 3, it says 7,500 tax rate is anticipated to be reduced for the Model 3 on April 18th, and that's specifically only the Model 3 standard range. And so there was a lot of news updated today. There was a lot of people tweeting about this, and really it's just the Model 3 standard range. And so it looks like we've got like a temporary, a little bit of a pause. So I know a lot of you out there are purchasing a Model 3 long range, or really actually most of you are probably interested in the Model Y long range, performance, and even standard range. And so what's going on right now is basically there's just some sort of further discussion that the IRS, Treasury, and all this have to basically confirm on, and that's why it's getting pushed all the way till April 18th. So right now, if you buy a vehicle, if you get in at the moment, you are pretty much good all the way until April 18th, when some more information is supposed to be actually released. And so if we take a look at this, what's going on is that the automotive companies and the manufacturers have to basically tell the IRS which vehicles will actually qualify based upon the critical mineral and the battery components as of April 18th. So this is an article from Tesla North, so shout out to them. And it looks like they quoted a CEO, John Bozella of the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, and basically talks about how all these companies have to get together, talk to the automotive company, or talk to the IRS and Treasury to release a better guideline. And so this is the second thing that you actually need to know. If you go to this website, and all these links for all these different things are going to be down below in the description. If you go to this website, fueleconomy.gov, that is the actual website where you can check for a live resource to figure out whether your vehicle, what your EV electric vehicle that you're buying, specifically Tesla, will actually qualify or not. So if you see here, I just sorted it down to Tesla. You can see right now, as of today, all Model 3s and all Model Ys qualify for this federal 7,500 federal tax credit. Of course, this might change on April 17th or 18th, or it could be a moving target, but most likely it will change after April 18th once they announce some more guidelines on this. And on top of that, there's this really good fact sheet from the IRS that goes into a lot of different situations. It's 13 pages long that goes into a lot of it. And this third thing you really need to be aware about, of course, is kind of the same thing as before. It's really just the income limit. So not everybody can qualify for this 7,500 federal tax credit for buying an EV. And on top of that, not every single person can actually reap the full 7,500 federal tax credit benefit from it. So basically the sweet spot threshold that we always talk about a lot on this is about $70,000 to $80,000 as a single person. Of course, I'm just a guy on YouTube, so don't quote me. Definitely always talk to your CPA, your certified accountant, before even really doing anything to really triple confirm. But you can see right here, if we are a single person with a $75,000 income level, you pay about $92,000 or $9,200 in federal taxes throughout the year. If we switch it to married, I want to say this, you're going to pay about that level. Like, okay, so yeah, $150,000. You're already paying well above the 7,500 federal tax limit there. So of course, things change as you have kids, as you contribute to 401k, IRAs, HSAs, all that different stuff. So just be aware of that. But right here on the website, you can see that it has a income level in area. But of course, if you're still confused, just talk to a CPA accountant at the end of the day. And of course, this was all kind of laid out in this statement from the Treasury. There is a huge area here where it talks about a bunch of different things that they've announced. And basically, they have to get together. They have to wait for the automotive companies to submit some sort of qualification on which vehicles actually qualify. And so that's why this resource, this website, fueleconomy.gov, is the best place to look live to make sure that your vehicle, your electric vehicle that you're purchasing, or even the Tesla vehicle that you're purchasing, will qualify or not. So it seems like, there's of course stricter EV tax credit rules taking into effect, but we've known this in the past. It's basically $3,750 and $3,750, which totals up to $7,500, and that is basically what is going on right now with the EV tax credit. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. I know this is I guess good news, right? Because we definitely thought, I certainly thought that the EV tax credit was going to go away for the Model 3 standard range by the 31st or even today. But it seems like now that both vehicles are getting some sort of an extension, and maybe the Model Y might not lose any bit of the tax credit at the end of the day, which would be nice, because there's certainly a good amount of inventory floating in the ecosphere for Tesla. We've got 276 Model 3s available for sale, a lot of them with discounts. Are any of them long range? No. So most of them are the rear wheel drive standard range and also the performance. And jumping over to the Model Y side, we've got 236 or 237 Model Ys available for sale. And yesterday we saw a lot of demo discounted Tesla Model Ys. It seems like a lot of them got sold yesterday. They were actually good deals, but there still is 72 vehicles that are brand new in demo status that you could potentially get some sort of discount on. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Those are like the top three things that you need to know about what's going on with the federal tax credit. It seems like basically at the end of the day, we've got a little bit of a temporary delay till April 18th. So if you're buying one, if you got a estimated delivery date in the next couple of weeks, you should be absolutely fine. And if your estimated delivery date got pushed to next month or even a few months from now, try some of the EDD, estimated delivery date hacks on the channel that we always recommend, whether it's changing your rims or switching to even performance or even switching to one of these vehicles that are around you. Definitely try some of those EDD hacks. But we're going to jump into our next topic. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources that I use to get the best possible deal with the best financing rate. Even they're all better than Tesla's financing, 5.59%. Some is even as low as 2.5 to 2.99. So definitely check out if you're interested. Link down below in the description. If you're just joining in, welcome. There, this new EV tax credit update just got announced, and basically we've got an extension till April 18th. But it seems like, of course, the Model 3 standard range will lose half of the tax credit. Model Y, fingers crossed, might get the full thing. But the best resource is this website right here, linked down below in the description, fueleconomy.gov. But welcome on in, Crusher. Thanks for coming in. Sand Spider, thank you. X, thanks for coming in. Sunday, thanks for coming in. Of course, we will get to the live stream comments because that's the benefit. it, right? I answer every single question that you all want to hear about and want to ask, because that's what we're here for. We want to help everybody get the best deal at the best possible price. So let us jump into the next topic. So in this next topic, in case you missed it, it looks like Tesla just released a new update, and there was a lot of features in that update that were basically secret or hidden. So we'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at the update that just came out, and we'll see what the heck is actually going on here. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best possible financing rate. So definitely check it out if you're interested, or hit that subscribe if you're interested. So let's take a look at this. Shout out to Not a Tesla app. They posted this and it stuck out to me. The hidden features in the Tesla update 2023.6 keep coming. Have you seen the full list of undisclosed features? We've got manual apps disabled in reverse, so I guess it doesn't block the screen. Climate system says warming up. I actually just experienced that today, and basically instead of blowing cold air out immediately, it won't blow any air out, and it just says like a little warming up sign. So that's kind of nice, I guess. Updated browser. I mean, the Tesla browser it's not the best anyway, so I don't really use it on a daily basis. So I mean, I guess that's cool. Tire pressure card update. I guess maybe potentially there's more information that's shown about the tire pressure, and then of course improved Apple Music, which, not really anything that I use there, but definitely some cool stuff. It's always cool to see a lot of different small or big features that Tesla likes to put into all their different things. And so here's the first feature on the manual app. Tesla has added a new app called Manual, which the app included alongside the other app. So it basically gives you a owner's manual. Okay, so that kind of makes sense, but I'm not sure if I would actually use it. We're all here, we're on YouTube, right? So we probably just Google or YouTube any of our sort of issues here. So climate system warming up, we talked about that already. Browser, okay, new Chrome version or Chromium, whatever it is, that's pretty nice. Tire pressure card. Okay, so we've got some more images here, and we can see that there's just more data on your tire pressure, which is nice, because if you live in places like we are at, driving on these roads, you can definitely catch certain things that could lower your pressure of your tire, which knock on wood, hopefully we don't do that. And then improvements to Apple Music, pretty nice, I guess, but we use Spotify on ours, so definitely not something that would be cool, but definitely some cool stuff. It's cool to see that Tesla is starting to put a lot of small hidden features in all their updates. Let me know if you've used these features, if you've tried these features, if they've worked for you, and definitely some cool stuff. So we're going to jump into our next topic, but before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Definitely check it out if you're interested, if you want to support the channel. Water break. Alex, I see you. Welcome in. Icarus, welcome in. No worries. We'll get to your questions, because that's the benefit, right? You guys can ask whatever you want and we will get to it. I'll be happy to answer everything. See you, user. Welcome in. Thanks for coming in. Crazy day today with all this information that has been released of the tax credit, and really it's basically just a delay. There's not really much clarity, just another delay. And I guess they did this to kind of kick it down the road a little bit. But of course, there's probably more to it. It sounds like they have to get together and propose all this, and then they have to kind of agree upon it with the different intergovernment departments. So here's another letter or a PDF in which it goes into a lot more details, which certainly not going to go into all this, but the TLDR is that they're going to have more of a discussion, and automakers and companies have to get together and submit their plans, or submit what vehicles actually qualify by April 18th. So we've got another banner update here. Vehicles placed in service delivered on or after April 18th must meet critical minerals or battery component requirements to be eligible for this credit. These requirements apply even if the vehicle was purchased prior to April 18th, unless it was purchased on or before August 16, 2022. Definitely some crazy stuff. Basically, if you purchase before April 18th, you are pretty much good, especially for the Model 3 or Model Y, but really only after January 1st. And if the vehicle has to make sure that it qualifies under MSRP limits, which most of them, Model 3 and Model Y, that most of you are buying, it will qualify. Model S and X never really has qualified for the 7,500 federal tax credit, so it probably won't be for a while. But the best resource, in my opinion, is go go to fueleconomy.gov, this website that we have on the screen. If you want to bookmark it, if you're, pending delivery in the next, whatever few weeks or in the next month, check this site, keep monitoring this site, take a look at it the days before you take delivery, just so that you're A-OK for the $7,500 federal tax credit. So in this next topic, just a quick one. It looks like Tesla has issued another recall, but this time for their Tesla semi trucks, which is never a good thing, but we'll definitely take a look at it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. So let us take a look at this. Tesla issues recall over defective brake module rollaway risk. Not ever really a good thing, right? Especially because did this vehicle, the semi, just start deliveries out? So how many could there actually be out on the road? But it seems like 35 semi trucks were actually affected. Of course, this is not this is a pretty serious thing, especially because these are usually carrying very heavy loads, and if there's a roll away risk with it, it's definitely not a good thing at all. And this is probably why we started to see a bunch of Tesla semis being towed or being pushed around by whatever, because they're broken on the side of the road. So we can see here in filings on the NHTSA site, Tesla said it will replace the parking brake valve module with revised part with improved internals that prevent air leakage and allow the driver to engage and disengage parking brakes. So it seems like a lot of you out there have Tesla Model 3s and Model Ys and S and X's, and you're probably used to that auto hold feature, in which if you come to a stop, the vehicle will hold itself. So maybe the Tesla Semi has a different version of that, or maybe it may be the same, but it seems like it does not go into a braking or parking brake type of feature, and there's definitely some rollaway risk. So let me know what your thoughts on it. Definitely some scary stuff, especially because it's a massive vehicle. I saw one of these at the Peterson Museum in LA, and it is huge. So if it doesn't have the braking capabilities there, then definitely very scary. So we're going to jump into our next topic. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Check it out down below in the description if you want to support the channel. All right, water break. Provoke, welcome in. See you, user. Crusher, see you all there. No worries. We will get to. Actually, let's get to it. But before we do that, if you're just joining in, welcome. There are basically three things that you need to know from this IRS Treasury update. The first thing is you're pretty much good if you need to take, or if you're going to take delivery of Model 3 or Model Y, and then before April 18th, because by April 18th, there's going to be more released guidance, and all these automotive manufacturers need to report to the IRS and Treasury all the different guidelines on which vehicles qualify for the minerals and the manufacturing and things like that. And so you really don't have to worry about it if you're taking delivery before April 18th. Model 3 standard range still qualifies as of today. Model Y qualifies as of today. Of course, Model S and X has never qualified. And the second thing you need to know is there is this URL if you need to check live which vehicles, it could be any vehicle, really any EV, whether it qualifies for the $7,500 federal upgrade. It seems like in all the documents that they talk about, here's one from the IRS, they reference this website where you can check it immediately and it will give you the stats. You can see right here, it says $7,500 federal tax credit. And I imagine this will update the same day or the same time once the IRS and Treasury get more information from all the automakers out there. So, and this third thing you need to know is there's this guide, this fact sheet from the IRS that goes into all the different nuances of the federal tax credit. And really, I always try and push on people or remind people that there are income limits. $150,000 as a single buyer, a single person, $300,000 as a married couple, and you don't really reap the full benefit of the EV federal tax credit until you make above $70,000 to $80,000 as a single person, no kids, and this, that, and other. But at the end of the day, if you are still confused about the tax credit, please consult a CPA. Just hire one, because it's worth it if you're, especially if there's $7,500 federal money tax credit basically on the limbo for that. But Definitely some cool stuff. All these links are actually down below in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. If you want to favorite them, read them as a nice bedtime read. But I know it's a lot for sure. Crusher, happy Friday! No, happy Friday, Crusher. X, I'm self-employed and can I still get the tax credit? Yes, if you claim the income for that year. So I know probably as a self-employed person, you do a lot of write-offs, especially if you're an Uber driver, you write off the vehicle or write off miles, maybe even more. So you really have to make profit or make income at $70,000 to $80,000, and then you would have to pay federal taxes on that, and then you get that right back. Sunny just got here. What's going on? The tax credit in jeopardy? It is actually, that was a video we posted a little bit late a while ago, same day if you want to check out the channel. Basically, Senator Manchin is threatening to sue the IRS and the Treasury for their implementation of the $7,500 tax credit because he's not happy on how it's actually working. When 2024 hits, the EV tax credit becomes a point of sale, correct, Dennis? Yes, that's how it's written. How we're going to get there, who knows? I mean, if we're already taking a look at the history so far, there's been a delay on the implementation just a little bit. I mean, I guess a delay on restrictions. And so maybe you can for surely bet there will be a delay next year for that implementation, because you got to think, like, are dealers going to put that into place? Tesla could easily put that into place, right? Like they just line item it, but like, how are they going to double check? Are they going to ask you to upload your W-2 forms, you upload your tax credits or your tax income statements to the Tesla portal just so they can confirm that you qualify as an individual to get the $7,500 tax credit? It's gonna be very interesting, right? Or maybe they just say they're gonna give it to you, and then if you file for your taxes next year and you don't actually qualify, you got to pay all that money back to the IRS. Definitely interesting, right? I mean, a lot of things to think about. Alex, Model 3 performance order now. Wait till the 18th or wait for the refresh and hope the credit is still around. Credit will still most likely be around. Refresh. I mean, who knows, right? Could be September, could be later this year. I mean, if you don't need a car, and maybe it might be worth it to wait around. Or I would say, we've recommended this a lot on the channel. Why not just lease a Model 3? I wouldn't say lease a Model 3 performance, but I would say lease a Model 3 standard range, because it is the cheapest interest rate. It's only at 1.9%. You can see right here on the screen. This is Tesla's lease calculator. And so you can get it for pretty relatively inexpensive compared to some of the other models out there. So that might be interesting to do, right? Glad of the change. My Model Y is set to deliver April 10th to 16th and have a VIN. I'm surprised I'm getting an awesome build as it's a blue 5-seat long range. Icarus, nice. Okay, so you're pretty much good then. You're very happy. I bet you woke up today, saw all the posts, the tweets, the news, and you're like, thank goodness I don't have to cancel. I can keep my Model Y orders. So you're probably very happy on that. And if anybody's out there, you just bought a new Tesla, or if you have one pending delivery, check out our Tesla part accessory partners on the channel, all linked down below in the description. You can see we've got Tamai, really nice interior parts, Jawa, really good phone mounts, Tesloid, really good entry-level floor mat, I would say. We've got MAGBAK, a little bit more premium OEM foam mount that did a giveaway with us pretty recently. And we've got 3D Mats USA, our most recent partner, really good premium floor mat that I would 100% recommend if you are interested. And so, of course, with all this tax credit news that we came today, I certainly thought we were, I'm a worst case scenario type of person, right? I thought we were going to lose the tax credit, but so I put this poll out there. Are more Tesla price cuts coming? And over 41% said yep. 31% said nah, it's priced well. 15% said $1,000 to $2,000. And of course, insurance has been a hot topic today. I don't know if you saw my video in which maybe an insurance company is starting to ban insuring Tesla vehicles. We've heard about it in the past with Progressive, and now maybe another one has started to not sign up people. And then, of course, we've got Costco, which is I've always recommended Costco a lot for insurance. They have seemed to pull out of California. So I put a poll on here, or I really just wanted to solicit comments to see what are people actually paying for insurance companies, or what companies are signing up for. And we've got 91 comments on this one. So if you're interested in looking for insurance, or if you're trying to figure out your insurance situation, check out this community post so you can see all the different ones that are out there for people to actually purchase. C user, thanks for coming in. Welcome. Does Tesla autopilot use regenerative braking or regular braking? I feel like it uses regular braking. That's a good question, C user. I've certainly thought of that myself. Like, what does it actually use? I'm gonna imagine it uses a combination of both, but who knows, right? Yeah, I don't know exactly. I wanted to research that, but I can't remember. I never have done that. It seems like my long range and performance will stay. Nice, Provoke. Nice, congrats to you for purchasing both of those, I guess. After the initial software update failure, it installed on the second attempt. The camera and parking sensors was beeping a bit too much when I tried to park in a garage. Do you guys leave it on or turn it off? It beeps a lot. It's too sensitive. Yeah, that was my one question. With anyone with Park Assist feature, the new Tesla Park Assist feature, can you actually turn it off if you're like annoyed of it, or does it always stay on? Dennis, do you think Tesla will raise prices on the Model Y? That's tough, right? I mean, the one thing that's interesting, the one thing that has stuck out to me is that Model Y inventory has been at elevated levels for a while. So you can see right here, we were going at for a while when the tax credit first got announced and that it was going to be staying. We went through this roller coaster type of cycle, right? Where inventory would pop online, then it would sell out. Then of course, Austin factory would go online again, and then it would sell out once again. But now we're kind of in this situation, and maybe because it's end of the month time period and they want to sell vehicles as quickly as possible. Maybe this is the same type of cycle that happens every single end of quarter for Tesla. But we've got a lot of inventory that's readily available that you can purchase today. And so what is going on here? If this inventory stays at certain high elevated levels like this, I think Tesla will drop prices, not lower prices. I mean, it's not raise prices. Dennis rocking the new microphone and stand, looking sturdy. Yes, I know, right? This thing is like definitely worth it. I had the old rickety thing that we put in a box and I'm probably going to throw away because it's essentially broken at this point, but very, very, very sturdy. So thank you to all, because we were able to get this thing and it's working very, very, very well. My Model Y long-range delivery window is still May to June, but it looks like it's not in danger of losing the tax incentive. Yes, at Crescent Tent, I would say you are pretty much good at this point, because it seems like the Tesla Model Y is not going to lose the tax credit. But who knows, right? I mean, all we know at this point is all these automotive manufacturing companies or automotive companies are supposed to submit their list of which vehicles actually qualify and which vehicles don't to the IRS and Treasury by April 18th. And so we'll probably get a more live view look. And so if you are out there, if you're concerned, this is the website to go take a look and check out. It's fueleconomy.gov. It's linked down below in the description. And keep this maybe favorited for anybody that has pending Model 3 or Model Y deliveries, because this is where we'll be able to see a live look on which vehicles qualify and which vehicles do not qualify. Dennis, how much percentage do you charge? Do you recommend for my Model Y long range, 90% or 85 to 75? Thanks for your help. I don't really actually recommend anything, as long as you don't do 100% every single time. Sometimes I do 75, sometimes I do 80, and 90% takes a little bit longer. So really, most recently, I've been charging 70 to 80% but I've been doing a lot of supercharging. Will the Model X get the tax credit? Well, not sure why it does not have the EV tax credit. Any thoughts? Really, it's because the Model X is priced too high. There is a threshold for SUVs, and that threshold is $80,000. So if Tesla reduces the MSRP price of the Model X, and that's specifically this price right here, it's the build price, not any sort of discounted price or anything like that. If they reduce this under $80,000, and before you say, that's not possible, at one point there were versions of the Model X that were, dare I say, $74,000. This is a Tesla price history tracker list, and so it's definitely possible that it's within range. I don't know if they'll actually do it immediately, but it's within range of possibility. They've done it in the past. I don't know if they'll do it right away, but they could. Write off a Tesla vehicle as Uber? Yes. You can write off a certain amount of the vehicle, or you can write off mileage, whichever one is higher. And there's also a third way of writing off, but I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment. So, there's people, we made a video about this yesterday where, an Uber driver that used their Tesla made over $10,000 in 1 month and only paid $200 in electricity costs for supercharging all the time. I mean, they did work a lot of hours, but it's definitely possible, right? At the end of the day, shout out for Dennis for his super early stream this morning. Yes, Mega Prime, thank you. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching that one. We woke up, saw the news, and I just realized I had to get up because I know all of you are waiting out there trying to figure out what is the best possible move. Should you buy or take delivery of your Model 3 or Model Y? And so I felt like I had to announce it, and I had some time in the morning because I was feeling energetic. Place order Model Y long range in Seattle on January 19th. Nice. Congrats to you. Got the 2.99% through Tower FCU. Thanks to you. Took a month to close, but well worth it. Congrats to you, Kareem. That I bet you were sweating bullets maybe, because that is a rate that it barely exist. Like, there still are credit unions out there you can get that rate, but Tower FCU for surely as a new customer will not give you that low rate. So congrats to you. And check out our part accessory codes, our discount codes down below in the description, or here they are on the screen. We've got Tamai, Jawa, Tesloid, MAGBAK, and 3D Mats USA if you want a discount for some of your parts accessories for your Tesla. I finally got a 2023 Model Y on 318. This is an awesome car. Very nice, simplistic design. Congrats to you. Enjoy in good health. Yes, it's definitely simplistic, and it's funny, right? Because I'm so used to having 4 Teslas back to back now, Model 3, Model Y, S, and X. You get used to the technology at the end of the day, and so it's hard to go back to other vehicles. But we did test drive the EQS and EQS SUV. And I gotta say, those are certainly a lot more luxurious interior vehicles and a lot more screens. Like, of course, like at least double the amount of screens that a Tesla has, because Tesla has like 1 or 1.5. And so it's a different feel to drive some of those at the end of the day. Still no VIN number, estimated delivery date April 7th to May 9th. Let's try some of the EDD hacks on the channel. Daily drive 70% is more than enough, yes. And also there's a time cost variant as well. Like, you don't want to wait too much longer at a charger unless you're home charging at the end of the day. So we've got one last topic. And this next topic, I get this question a lot, and it has everything to do with the EV tax credit. And of course, it has everything to do with, if you're married, can you file jointly and claim 2 credits or 1 credit or 3 credits or anything like that? Or can you split up the credits? And so we are going to make a PSA video about it. We're going to talk about it to make sure there's some clarity. And I'm going to point you to the direct resource where you can get the exact information yourself on how it actually works. But of course, at the end of the day, you should consult a CPA, because I'm just a guy on YouTube that's trying to give you or point you in the correct direction to make the right decisions. But we'll talk about, because there's a lot of talk about the EV tax credit right now, the $7,500 EV tax credit on the Model 3 and the Model Y, and a bunch of other EVs. So we'll certainly talk about it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link, where you can get access to the best Tesla buying guide out there with all the best rates that have all rates lower than Tesla financing. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. All right, so let us take a look at this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to point you directly to this website. It's actually linked down below in the description as well. It's irs.gov, and this is the exact PDF, and you can see it right here. This is the paragraph that talks about, if you are married and you're buying 1 EV, can you claim the tax credit twice? Who gets to claim the tax credit, or can you even split it up? And so right here it is. Can the new vehicle tax credit be split between multiple owners? This was actually added today as a question, because I bet they get this question a lot through their hotlines and everything. And to put it simply, no. In certain circumstances, multiple taxpayers may purchase and place in service or be titled as owners on a single vehicle. For example, a married couple that files separate returns may jointly purchase and take possession of a new vehicle that qualifies for the credit, and both be titled as owners of the vehicle. However, only one taxpayer can claim the new clean vehicle credit per the vehicle placed in service, and the credit may not be allocated or prorated between multiple buyers. In the case of married taxpayers filed jointly, either spouse may be identified as the owner claiming the new vehicle tax credit. So pretty simple enough, right? But I know it certainly can get pretty confusing. But basically, at the end of the day, one person can only claim it, even if you're married. And usually, if you're married, you not usually, but I guess there's a lot of people that probably file jointly, and of course, there's people that file separately. But really, it's one tax credit per vehicle that you can file and claim and get back. And so that's really at the end of the day. But if you want to check it out, this is the IRS.gov PDF that goes into a bunch of different things. And on top of that, there is income limits as well. So if you're married filing jointly, your income limit has to be under 300,000. And I imagine if you are married at 300,000 income, you are certainly paying enough tax liability to reap the full $7,500 federal tax rate. You can see right here on smartassetincome.com, if we put in an amount of $300,000, married with no 401 contributions or anything like that, your federal tax liability that you're paying throughout the whole year through paycheck W-2s, of course, if you're self-employed, it's a different thing, is $53,455. So you'd reap the full benefit. I would imagine even if you're married all the way down to like $120,000, you're still paying over that $7,500 federal tax rate. You can see right here, it's almost $12,000. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense. Hopefully that's a quick PSA that adds some more clarity. But if you're still confused, definitely consult a CPA, a certified public accountant, or maybe even TurboTax or H&R Block, so you can really get some more clarification. Or even just check out this PDF and read it thoroughly to see if it makes any sense to you. But we're going to jump back into the live stream comments, because that is, essentially where we can you can ask any sort of questions and I get back to you. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down in the description is a Patreon link, so definitely check it out if you are interested. Yeah. All right. I texted you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Or did I?
Bye. Have fun.
Oh, no, I didn't text you. All right. Let's finish out through the questions. Thanks for all coming in. I heard some say that when the radar and LiDAR Model Y version comes out, the current Model Y will drop by 20%. Thoughts? I don't know if that will actually happen, but because Teslas are still going to be in demand no matter what. And really, like we've talked about this before, like what we're on Tesla YouTube, of course, and Tesla Twitter, where like all the posts about everything are about the latest technology and everything like that. But there's probably a big majority of buyers, Tesla buyers out there, that really probably don't care about hardware 3.0, hardware 4.0. They just want Tesla for the brand, right? And so they just want to save gas, and they don't want to get into all the weeds of the technology like we do. So could be different. And is now a good time to get Model Y long range, or should I wait for hardware 4? I would say you can just get it now. Or, I mean, if you need a car, if you don't need a car, then you could wait. But if you need a car, then get it now. But if you're just joining in, everyone, before we get through all the questions, I know the title says, what you need to know. But basically, at the end of the day, the Model 3 and Model Y tax clarification has been extended till April 18th. And this is the website. This is the resource that you need to go to, maybe even bookmark it if you want to be live and up to date on whether or not the Model 3 or Model Y will qualify. You can see right here, there's a section that says all Model 3s and all Model Ys qualify for the $7,500 federal tax credit. And so this will be updated because all the auto manufacturers are supposed to submit their qualifications or which vehicles will qualify to the IRS and Treasury by April 18th. And of course, then this will be updated probably by then as well. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Does the Model Y long range going to reduce the price if it won't qualify even the next month? I think the Model Y long range is going to qualify, so I don't think there's going to be any sort of price reduction. Model 3 standard range, though, is a different story altogether. I certainly think the Model 3 standard range might actually get like a $3,000 price decrease, because that's kind of a nice sweet spot right now. We've got Model 3 standard range at a $42,990, or basically $3,000. And so what we're seeing right now, if the price of the Model 3 standard range is $42,990, if that's a $3,000 discount, that could go down to $39,990, which I think that would be a very nice sweet spot looking price that could, drive some demand if they need to. And the reason why I say this is because if you go to waitingfortesla.com, which is a third-party aggregator site, shout out to TJ and the team, you can see that there's a lot of Model 3s that are looking a little suspect right now that all have $2,000 plus discounts. And so I think Tesla is testing the market right now to see if these vehicles sell relatively quickly. And if they do, and if they are, then that signals to them, hey, we just need to drop the price to $3,000. And if we take a look at the history books, the Tesla Model 3 standard range actually has been as low as $37,000. So do I think a price drop is happening for the Model 3 standard range? I would think so. Do I think a price drop for a Model Y is happening? I don't think so at the moment, just because it seems like the $7,500 federal tax credit is staying for the Model Y. And so if you're locked in, you're good at that. I mean, you're good. So you're not going to have to worry about any sort of price increase. But if you're on the fence right now, you already know my recommendation. Go to waitingfortesla.com, sort it by demos, and look for $2,000 to $3,000 discounts with some low mileage on it. I'm at the credit. I didn't buy 2 cars. Okay. If your Tesla EDD changes, can you cancel the order and get your deposit back? There is a way to get the deposit back. It's not, we don't like to put it out there. It's probably not the best way to get it back, but there is a way to get it back. It's actually down the Patreon link down below to get the access to that. But there is a way to get back. But regardless, I might not wait. I don't need a car right away. Yeah, provoke, then I would just say wait it out. Do demo cars qualify for the credit? Yes. I've done it, and they qualify. Interest rates are crazy right now, but I think I don't need a car right away. I'll wait to see if Tesla cuts some prices. Yeah, then you might as well just wait. Happy Hippo, welcome. Just joining. I'm going to keep asking you, Dennis, now that you have the Model X, do you prefer that over the Model Y? I'm sincerely considering switching in a year or two. Yes, 100%. I would say at this point now with Model X's, someone just actually scheduled a call with me at the Patreon link down below in the description, and they sent me a deal that Model X 2022 with 9,000 miles for $87,000. And so should I have waited? Maybe. I mean, prices for cars are always going to go down. That's kind of the truth of it. We lived in a fantasy land for the past couple of years where you could buy a Tesla and sell it for more than what you paid for it within 6 months. And so that was definitely a fantasy land. So you're supposed to lose money on cars after you buy them. But, maybe we could have saved a little bit of money, but I'm happy with the decision and I'm still enjoying it. But yes, Model X, it's a world of a difference. I would say Happy Hippo, maybe even try the Model S first, kind of like ease into it a little bit, because the Model S right now is like a $75,000 car. And then after you do that for a little bit, then get into the Model X when it goes down to like $80,000. I would say it'd be worth it at that point. Tower FCU, it says 6%. Yes, Provoke. Unfortunately, Tower FCU has raised rates a while ago. But if you want access to the best interest rate list, down below in the description, Patreon link to get rates as low as 2.5, 2.9, 3.5 to 3.99. How's the tech in the Mercedes? Would you consider the Mercedes over the Model X? That's a good question, because of course, while we're at the dealership, the salesperson there trying to sell, and because it is 2 days to the end of the month, which actually I kind of feel bad for, because, we only took like 30 minutes of his time. Well, actually like 45 minutes. But and also we went early in the day, so it wasn't like a hot time and no other customers were there. But if you can get a EQS sedan for like $700 a month, which of course they didn't give us that deal right away, but of course the salesperson was asking for that, would I consider switching? I mean, that's a hard question to ask me right now, Happy Hippo, because we just got the Model X only like 2 to 3 months ago. But maybe in like a year when I'm getting bored and I want to try something new and Electrify America chargers get a little bit better, then maybe. And it was still $700 a month, then maybe. But I think right now, Model X it checks off a lot of boxes in terms of space, ride, comfortability, everything. And Tesla tech, like the ecosphere, the intuitiveness of this, you certainly get very engulfed into it and get used to it. Like I find myself doing a lot of things that when I jump into other cars, I'm like trying to do it, and they're like, oh wait, that's right, this car doesn't have it because it doesn't have the Tesla tech. Tesla might cut prices too, and tax credit seems to be staying, so there's no harm in waiting. Yeah, 100%. One account told me that it's not a credit you receive; it just lowers your tax liability. Yes, it just lowers your tax liability. They are 100% correct, because if most, like, if you, I get this comment a lot, like, oh, most people that buy a Tesla don't actually get the full liability or don't get the full credit back. But really, it's if you're a single person, which I get, like maybe if you are trying to buy a $50,000 car and you make $50,000, then that's probably not financially recommended, but maybe there's people that do that out there. But you're supposed to try and make at least like 1.2 to 1.5. Like, even if, of course, if you ask Dave Ramsey, he's going to say like you need to make 10x the income to buy a $50,000 car. But and usually for auto financing, especially as we get more strict, or as the banks get more strict, they're going to want 1-to-1 ratio no matter what. So if you're buying a $60,000 car, you need to make at least, at a minimum, $60,000, maybe even more now with how banks auto financing is getting more stricter and stricter. But basically, here's an example on the screen. It says $70,000 as a single person. You don't even have to worry about the location, but you can see here in the federal taxes box right here down here, this person, if they are a W-2 employee, they're going to pay about $8,000 in federal tax throughout the whole year. By the end of it, they should be paying around $8,000. So if they buy a EV and get that a Model 3 or Model Y, they would basically reap the full $7,500 federal tax back. They would get it and in a more lumped federal tax credit refund check, and they would essentially reap the whole thing. But as you go lower, as you get to like $50,000, that's where I can see, people might not reap the whole thing, because at a $50,000 level, you only get $4,000 back. So of course, everybody's situation is different. If you add in 401 contributions, IRA, kids, and all that stuff, it gets a little bit gnarly, especially if you're married, then it gets even more gnarly after that. So of course, that's why it's always recommended talk to a CPA, consult a CPA. TurboTax, H&R Block, maybe not so much. If you use the software, the software is clear cut. It's like you put in car, you buy EV, you get full tax credit based upon how much tax you actually get back. And also, if you're interested, if you're like a business owner, if you do Uber driving, or if you want the lowest EV electric vehicle monthly payment possible, check out Tenet down below in the description. We're actually sponsored by Tenet, and so Tenet's a really cool way to finance your EV electric vehicle, because you can get the lowest monthly payment possible by deferring an amount of the loan to the end of the loan, like even maybe the $7,500 federal tax rate, which then results into a lower monthly payment. So there's a strategy there, like defer it for a year or 2 years after that, get the tax credit, pay it off, and then maybe potentially even refinance the whole thing. That would be the strategy, because I know there's probably a lot of business owners out there, maybe even Uber drivers, that want more cash flow every single month, that want the least amount due to a bank or anything like that. So that gives you more flexibility just in case you have a down month, or the Uber drives aren't as as much on that. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. I want to see the interest rates go down. Yeah, maybe a little bit later, right? Me too, and values go back up. Yeah, that'd be nice. I remember in January, Tesla interest rate was 4.54%. I don't know if it was 4.5%. I'm pretty sure it was still like 5% higher, because we were streaming back then. We've been streaming every day almost since November. Took delivery of Model 3 rear-wheel drive yesterday, and not the vision update. Only thing wrong so far is I can't view Centricams. Just says error, try again. Wi-Fi didn't connect, though it's a strong signal. Johnny, I would say try and do a soft reset. Rates will go down eventually, and you can refi at any time. Yeah, 100%. Depends on whether the value rebates or not. You will never have the latest model with all those features. It's always a gamble. Look at 2023 model. Yeah, I've heard someone say, like Tesla Raj said, like you can never time buying a Tesla, and that's 100% true, because Tesla's always constantly changing, updating, upgrading their vehicles, and so there's always going to be a hardware 3, a hardware 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and there's always going to be a newer camera, newer autopilot, and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't really need a car until August or September. Then I would just say wait it out. You might as well. Who would have thought that the 2023 model would lose the ultrasound radar? Yeah, 100%. It's so weird at the end of the day. Not buying at that price, Dennis. Yeah, I agree. Does the autopilot lights tell red lights when slowing? Yes. Well, anytime you use regenerative braking, that's when the lights go on. X for 87,000 with that mileage? Nah. I mean, it was 9,000 miles, not 90,000. Did I say 90,000? It was 9,000 miles, which is not bad. I would be down for that. Maybe if I got it for like 90,000. You got sexy, Dennis. You'll never get bored. You know, I've got car ADD, as I like to call it, and so hopefully this Cybertruck coming like mid-year, maybe even late this year, might be a good time. Hopefully, if I can like sneak it and get it, then we'll probably go to inflation. Yeah, how many times do you need to cancel the lane change prompts when on autopilot or for it to really understand? Yeah, I think there's like a lane change setting for that, but yeah, I actually don't know. Exiting ramp is never fun on FSD, so dangerous. Is either too late or not smooth at all. Yeah, it's tough to use FSD in traffic because it gets really scary, especially in rush hour traffic, because it can make a lot of mistakes. But thanks for watching this video, guys. Please hit that like if you enjoy. Please definitely hit that like. Definitely hit that subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow, probably a little bit early, like noonish maybe. But thanks for watching. Comment down below if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.